So today it's all about creating an online course and what makes a course successful. Okay, in call. There we go.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain at all.
That's the way to be. I'm really thrilled to have you on with us today, just waiting for some more to join us. Thoroughly love your courses and enjoy your courses. I don't know whether you had a look at the Periscope course that I did following doing your both your 5-day, I created a Udemy course in 5 days or less, and also then the promo videos. So
awesome. You know what? I know I signed up for the course. I don't think in fact, I know I haven't taken it yet because I still don't know anything about Periscope. Yeah,
it's interesting. I think Periscope is, like, I think Blab for us as instructors and coaches, everything else, and presenters is really powerful platform, because as we know, we can have people come in and start chatting with us and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Periscope is really great for things on the fly. So if you're, say, at a convention, and not that, obviously you've got to be careful of copyright and that sort of stuff. So you'd have to ask permission if you're going to record or live stream the speakers on stage. But you're walking around back a house or walking around and you run into an expert, and then you can just do an interview right there and then.
I'll be darned.
And then like this, because it's also tied in, it's tied into Twitter as well. And so like this, then that just streams out to the Twitter world, and they can ask questions and leave comments as well. So say I'm interviewing you about a particular topic on online course creation.
Yeah.
And then I move on to another topic, and somebody says, "Look, I wasn't clear on that. Can you just clarify that with Bob, blah, blah, blah." And so they can actually direct the conversation.
Okay.
The other thing too is, say, if you are, like, you might be a PT, a yoga instructor, anything like that, where you want to demonstrate a particular thing. Like, say, for me, I've got a background in elite sport, not actually being an elite sportsman, but looking after elite sports people.
Oh, really? Okay.
So doing the strapping and that sort of stuff. So I've actually got a course on how to strap an ankle, thumb, and finger. And then what I did with my phone was I went in, because I look after, I've left elite sport now, although I do look after PGA golfers. But I took my phone into the change rooms of the local football club that I'm looking after, and I actually showed people as I was preparing them for training, and then people were commenting and asking questions.
Really?
So yeah, it's definitely got its place. But I think I got all excited about Periscope before Blab came along.
Yeah.
And now I'm excited about both, because I can see as instructors they both have their place. This is a very powerful collaboration coaching platform.
Yeah.
And Periscope is just a very flexible, on the go platform. So
okay.
Again, with Periscope, you can also save your stream to your camera roll, so then you can incorporate what you've streamed to your to your course, so you can put that in as supplemental information.
I'll tell you what, the world's moving fast, isn't it?
It is, and also with Blab, what happens with Blab is then at the end of this call, I'll be emailed a link with the audio and video, so then I can incorporate that into my course.
That's awesome.
So today I just want to talk about strap an ankle. I'm a runner. Yeah, well, sure. If you, I'll drop a link. I actually didn't have a discount link done up for the strap an ankle course, but I'll happily make a strap an ankle link up for you at some later stage, and email it to you, because it's a great course. Achilles is sacred. Of course they are. Like, I enjoy running as well. Running was a big part of my job when I was working in elite sport, because I was one of these guys who used to run out on the field when people got injured.
Wow.
So Yeah. So today, so we'll just go through very quickly some of the ways. I know we've only got 4 on at the moment, and this will grow. This seems to be the way that this platform works as people come and go as they like. But just a very, very quick blab tutorial is that on the left-hand side, you've got a little button saying "Tell a Little Bird." If you click that, then you will send a notification out to your Twitter followers that you're here. Up the top, up there is everybody who's currently on the blab. So if you just hover your mouse over the top of that, then you can follow or find out more about that person. Of course, on the right-hand side over there, you've got your comment bar. And if you type a /Q, so if I type /Q, if I click in here, and then I type my question, it will come up flagged in the chat as a question. So that will get our attention. So that sort of defines whether what's a question and what's a general comment. So who we've got here? We've got I think we've got James on here. No, so is it Callan? Welcome. And Dad Loves Running.
There we go.
Anyway, so I've taught a number of courses online, so it's a source of interest, but most of the courses I taught were more than 5 years ago, and the platform, was rather unsophisticated. Sure. Yeah, so today, as we mentioned, today is all about how to create a successful online course. Some time ago, I interviewed 3 instructors from Udemy, all of whom were generating 6 figures or more per year just on course sales. We'd love to have Bob come on and do a special interview for that course as well. Because what this was all about, I think everybody goes on and they create a course, and then they create a course, and some are really good and some aren't. But it's a really tough area to break into, because I don't know, I haven't checked Udemy lately as to how to create a Udemy courses there are. Yeah. But I think a lot of people just create the one course and go bang. Bob, on the other hand, has created an amazing how to create a Udemy course in 5 days or less. And at the end of this blab, we will be posting a link that you can pick up that course for an amazing price. So stay tuned for that. But what I really loved about Bob's course was that it wasn't just about, some courses, they try to cover everything. Yeah. Concept, creation, marketing, publishing, blah, blah, blah. And I learned a long time ago from a gentleman called Alex Jeffries, who I was in his mastermind VIP inner circle coaching group. He's a very successful online marketer. Yeah. And he said, one solution, one problem per product. Yeah. And that's basically what and do it well. So that's what I like about Bob's course on how to create a Udemy course in 5 days or less, because I'm going to hand over to Bob, and Bob can tell you about that process. But he actually does have a very, very easy to follow system. And to tell you a very quick story, when I was doing my last course, I've just moved into a new place, and so when I set up all my video equipment, because I like to do talking head stuff, I found that the walls were too white, and I couldn't chroma key because there was just too much reflection coming onto the backdrop. And so I tried for weeks all these different camera and light setups, and it just wasn't working. So then I had to go back to just doing a talking head. To a screencast. And I just didn't want to do an ordinary PowerPoint, blah blah blah. And that's when I picked up your course. So I'm just going to hand over to you. I want you to talk about the process that's involved in your Udemy course. Sure.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that nowadays it seems like, when somebody puts together a course, then they quickly put together how to create a Udemy course. Mine, give you a little background. I put that course together mostly by accident. I own a sales coaching company, right? And do a lot of public speaking, spend a lot of my time professionally standing on stage. So I already had a lot of content. I think probably like most people that have something that they want to share or something that they're passionate about, they know a lot about a subject, right? And one of the very interesting things that happened to me personally is I said, okay, Udemy is a great platform. I already have some live sessions that I sell on my website, but I want to create some of these very specific sales training sessions to sell on Udemy. And here's what happened, Tim. I sat down in front of my computer and my mind went blank. I've been talking about the same material, right? The telling the same stories, talking about the exact same stuff, walking through these processes for 15 years. So I knew it wasn't that I didn't know what to say. It wasn't that I didn't know what I was talking about. It was, how do I get these ideas out of my head and onto a screen? Because, when you're standing on a stage or you're in a room full of people, that's a two-way conversation, even if you're doing most of the talking, right? But how do I do this? How do I create a course where it's essentially a one-sided conversation, but keeping in mind that the person on the other side watching the course, that appreciating the fact that an online course is an extremely personal experience. And I think a lot of people miss that. I like to toss a challenge out there. Imagine if you were to walk into your living room and you saw one of your kids, one of your friends, your spouse on your computer, right? Or your phone. It's very personal, and that person is letting you into their space, right? They're giving you some of their screen, and hopefully they're going to be willing to spend some hours with you. So how do I get these ideas out of my head? How do I create a one-sided conversation in a way that is easy to get through? So I created a couple of courses, and it was a real struggle, but every single course that I created, I improved my process a little bit. I'm a big systems guy, right? And I was cranking out my courses. I finally got it fine-tuned and nailed down the system that I go through, and I was getting these done. I realized that I was getting a course done in 5 days. And in fact, it was kind of in hindsight. I published the course, let me back up a little bit further. I published 7 courses in a 7-week. No, I'm sorry. I published 7 courses in a 5-week period. So I was sharing them in the Facebook group because I was really excited. I was really proud of them. And I was like, hey, I just published my next course. I just published my next course. And I was getting people emailing me. And they were sending me messages on Facebook saying, how are you doing this so fast? And, when something happens over a long period of time, 7 weeks, you don't tend to notice it, right? When something happens over that period of time, particularly when it's happening to you. And I realized that other people were having the same struggles that I was having. Udemy has an official version of how to create a Udemy course, and it's good, but it for me, it dropped off when I ran into that problem. How do I get these ideas out of my head and onto the screen? So after a whole bunch of emails and private messages inside Facebook, how are you getting this done? I said, you know what? Maybe other people are having a problem with this, and there might be a market there. As it turns out, my course, How to Create a Udemy Course in 5 Days, is the number 3 best-selling entrepreneurship course in all of Udemy. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm just talking about what is. So I guess people were having the same difficulties that I was. So inside this course, what I do is I basically walk you through my system, right? A couple of things that I coach to. I believe in systems create freedom. And that one of the reasons that it takes us so long to get something done, it's not because we're not good enough. It's not because we're not smart enough. It's not because we're not motivated enough. Yeah, I can't tell you. I get 2 or 3 emails a day, people who have started the How to Create a Udemy course in 5 days. I get 2 to 3 emails a day of people saying, man, all this time I've been beating myself up because it's taken me 6 months to produce a course. And as it turns out, I was trying to do way too much. So, a lot of times what I tell people is that the reason we don't get things done, it's not because we don't want it bad enough, not smart enough, not motivated enough. It's the system that we're using is literally setting us up to fail. So I didn't mean to ramble on there. I get pretty passionate about that subject and about that course.
And that's what I wanted, and that's why I invited you on, because, as I said, your course has really stood out as far as this Create a Udemy course is concerned. Look, because I've put myself in a niche. I said I've studied internet marketing. I know about niching, so I put myself in a niche of helping instructors or helping would-be instructors get their courses up and running and marketed. So this is all I do. So when I create a course, it's not. I'm not. I might go off and do some physical exercise stuff later than track. But at the moment, my niche and focus is helping people get their courses up and do market research and everything else. So all my immediate courses that are on the burner are all this related. But so as that has gone on, I've done a lot of the Udemy courses on how to create a Udemy course, and yours really stood out. And that's why I really wanted you on this call, because yes, Udemy does have a free course, and it's probably a good starter. But yours, as I said, yours wasn't trying to solve all the problems. You were showing people how to get their content out of their head, how to mind map it, taking that mind map into to create your slides, and then to sexy up your slides. And funny enough, like that mind mapping process is something that I learned through my product creation training in the internet marketing world too. Like I use MindMeister, and that's exactly what I do. I do everything. Like even my market research goes into a mind map, because I like mind maps because you can just slide things around. Now, I just like to say to everybody here, this is an open discussion. There is an open seat there. If you want some coaching, if you want to jump in that hot seat and ask questions and interact with us live, please hit that seat. If you're not camera ready, if you're a little bit camera shy, apparently you can disable your webcam and just jump in on audio. That's fine as well. Yeah. No, but we actually had some people in my very first blab who weren't camera ready. So apparently you can just go up to the top of your address bar or something, and you can drop down what devices are active, and you can actually deactivate your cam and then come on just audio. And then I said, if you put a /Q into the question bar, then you can ask a question there. So creating online courses. Yeah. I said, as part of my interview process, I said I interviewed three people who were making 6 figures or more per year in course sales, and I asked them a number of questions. And I asked, it was Miguel Hernandez, and Phil Ebner, and who? Goodness gracious, Cava Programming. The name will come to me. I'm having one of those mornings. I put my glasses in before, couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Anyway, so I asked one question. I said, what do you think is the main reason why a course would fail to sell? And Miguel Hernandez says, well, it could be death by 1,000 cuts. And that's true. There could be any number of reasons about, like, it could be, your presentation, it could be your topic, it could be anything. Bob, what do you think is one of the main reasons why a course, because this is about creating successful, this is not just creating a course. This is about creating a course that's going to sell and generate you a residual income. What do you think is one of the main reasons why a course would fail to sell?
That's fair, and that does come up a lot, doesn't it? Here's what I see is that individuals will put together a course and they'll pour their heart and soul into it and do the very best job they can. That's an important point. I'm going to come back to that one in a second. They'll do the very best job they can. They'll publish a course, and then it doesn't sell. right? Or it doesn't make what I jokingly call, it doesn't make them their internet riches, right? Inside How to Create a Udemy Course in just 5 days, I focus in on, look, get a course done, right? Because not for all the money you're going to make, but for the experience that you're going to get while you go through it. You know, the odds that you're going to publish one course and it's going to sell. It's like you and I sitting down to write Gone with the Wind. It's just not going to happen. You know, the great American novel, your first time out. The reason courses don't sell is because you only have one course. And because you only have one course, you have this scarcity mindset. I don't want to discount my course. I don't want to put it in promotions. I don't want to let Udemy discount my course. I don't want to give away coupons so I can generate reviews. You know, all that stuff, because you've done the very best you could, right? You've poured your heart and soul into this course. And at the end of the day, if this is your first course, odds are it's probably not that good. Yeah, I don't mean that in a mean way, but I know that right now I have 24 courses on Udemy. And I can go back and look at my very first course. And I can look at my 24th course. And we all know this, right? You get better with things over time. And if you want to sell more courses, here's I heard some internet guru say this years ago. He said, "Do you want to know why you're not selling more products online? Because you don't have enough products to sell online."
Good point.
So that was a pretty long answer to a short question, but
yep. No, that's a very good point. I think the other point that came up through the interview process was that people were creating courses that people weren't looking for, and you can create something that you're passionate about, but there's no guarantee that somebody else is going to be passionate about it. Like you might be passionate about something really obscure, like, you know, upside down snorkeling or something, and you might like having your face in the sun while you're snorkeling.
Right. It
doesn't necessarily mean like, and you might sell 4 or 5, but the idea of, I think, and as like you're a marketer as well, Bob, but they say don't get attached to just one idea. It's a good thing to get a list of things that you would like to teach, a list that things that you would like to know more about, and maybe do an interview with an expert. But don't get attached to that very first concept or idea, because, but look, I agree, get a course done, and maybe that first one is your love, and it may be something that people are looking for, and it may sell like hotcakes, but don't get disparaged if it doesn't.
Yeah,
and
the other thing, a lot of the word "may" in there.
Yeah, that was one thing. Now, the other thing that I did as part of this process, when I put this initial course together, was I did a lot of research, and I went through a lot of courses that were on how to create Udemy courses on Udemy. I went through blog posts. I scoured the internet to look for the questions that people were asking in relation to online course creation, like where they were getting stuck.
Yeah, and sounds like you did a lot of homework.
Yeah, and one of the biggest questions that came up all over the place came back to equipment and technology, right? And a lot of people were scared off from creating an online course because they thought they'd have to have, a super studio set up and lights and everything else. Now, I just want to show you something. I think audio. Excuse me. I think audio is paramount. Like people will forgive a little bit of grainy video, but this is one of my favorite little devices here. This is a little lapel mic.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called a Rode Smartlav.
Yep.
That plugs straight into your smartphone. Now, phones these days have you can put out such a high quality video, like higher quality than even most of these course platforms require. Now, this goes straight into your smartphone. Now, this has got a very short cord on it because this mic is designed to go into your smartphone. Your smartphone goes in your pocket, and you can be miles away from the camera and then you just sort of match up the audio. Now, if you want to be standing a fair way from the camera and be directly wide up, then you can buy a 6 meter or 10 meter extension.
Wow.
For the mic. So that's my favorite. Now, what I like about this is it's a broadcast quality mic, so it actually has noise cancellation on it.
Wow.
And there's no battery required. I had one lapel mic, and it required a battery, and there was no battery indicator on it. Do you know how many times I stood there talking for 20 minutes and realized I wasn't recording?
Yeah. I think I have that one.
Okay, the other one that I use for my screencasting, and I'm using now, is this one, and this is the Rode NT USB. So this is a USB studio quality microphone, and very affordable. And obviously, people like Blue Yetis. So I think when you're creating a course, especially now as courses are getting more sophisticated, there is a requirement for you to do a small outlay. But I'm talking less than $100 to get a good quality mic, to get some good quality audio happening.
Yeah.
Now, talking head. How important is it to do talking head?
I guess it's really going to depend on what your course is about, to some extent. Okay, and here's why I say to some extent. There's a reason why iTunes and podcasts are blowing up. Is because while the visual is nice and while technology is becoming better. Right, video is becoming more and more popular. I think what people really want is the information. Now, if I'm teaching a course and I'm showing you physically how to do something, right? If I'm going to teach a course on how to paint a fence, right? You need to see me do that. And I can really, Tim, only speak to my area of expertise, which is in the area of business and entrepreneurs and salespeople. We may have a little closer connection if you see me, but at the end of the day, what you really want is you want the information, and it's my job to deliver that in such a way to where it feels like a conversation. So if you're thinking about creating a course, I certainly would not, let a talking head video, right, where your face is on camera, I would not let that be a barrier. Of the 24 courses that I have, my first 18 are me simply talking over a PowerPoint slide presentation. Now, I put a lot of work into those PowerPoints to make them look attractive, and we're going through key points along each step. But I sell a lot of courses. And I've never, ever one time gotten the feedback, if I could have seen you, I would have felt a lot better. Just doesn't come up.
I like your presentation style too. I think when I'm watching your courses, I actually have a smile on my face because you're not actually scared to be human. You have a chuckle. You actually sound like you're enjoying yourself.
I am,
and that actually draws people and pulls people along, and that's very, very engaging, and it's enjoyable, and people are going to finish your course and get a lot from it because they enjoyed it. And I said I've actually got a history of teaching like face to face, like in the classroom, workshops, and everything else. And we talk about retention when the students are having fun, and if you engage the students and make them laugh and enjoy the learning process, they are actually going to retain more and take more away. So that's a very, very big thing. Yeah.
I'll take that one step even further to when you said, student retention and make them laugh. That doesn't mean you have to be funny, right?
No.
It simply means that you loosen up a little bit. I think what makes a lot of really good courses bad or boring is when we take ourselves way too seriously in the way we're speaking, the way we're coming across, right? Almost like our voice is dressed in a 3-piece suit, getting ready to sit down for a board meeting. Man, nobody wants to hear that for hours.
No, exactly right. Or the monotone, and if I talk like this long enough, I'll even go to sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So I think this comes back to I'll mention another name in the Udemy stable, and that's Alan Hill.
Sure.
And he makes squillions of dollars. I think he's one of the Udemy
officially passed the $1 million mark.
Yep, and I think I've only seen his face in one video where he's actually demonstrating the iRig microphone, and he's next to a waterfall or something. So he's just demonstrating the pickup of that. Now, somebody asked about what is a Rode microphone. That is the brand of microphone that I use. It's RODE. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm probably crucifying it being with my Australian accent. That is just the brand name of. But no, what I'm saying is that you want if you like to have a lapel microphone, so something that's just going to clip onto you. So this is sort of clips on, like that. So it sits here. Always good. I actually put this on upside down, and then I hide it. But when you put it down upside down, and then you also put a loop underneath your shirt, if you're a heavy breather, then you're not going to get that sort of coming through on your audio. So that's another little audio tip, is that just because you put the mic on upside down doesn't mean it's not going to pick you up, and it's just going to. And then look, I said another really popular brand when it comes to microphone is the blue, the blue microphone. So the Blue Yeti, I think it's called the Snowball. They're very, very good microphones. But they're saying, like, if you don't want to, because I tell you what, and Bob says this in his course as well, doing talking head is a lot of work. There's a lot of editing, and if you're not up for that, your course isn't going to fail. I'll just share a little story with you as I was just talking to Bob before we came on air, and that was in my last course in my Periscope course. I like doing talking head, and in the last place I was in, I've got my studio set up and the lighting and everything was right. I could chroma key and make it all look very professional. Then when I moved into my new place, the walls are so light, as you can see behind me. They're very light, and that threw a lot of reflection onto the backdrop, and that meant I couldn't chroma key. So the video wasn't looking as professional. Look, I could have got away with it, but the video wasn't looking as professional as I liked. So I wasted weeks trying to get my lighting right, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Now in that time, when I first researched Periscope courses, there were 2 courses on Udemy, and then by the time I got my course published, one was the 5th. Last time I looked, there was 6, but no, that area was growing. So I wanted to be sort of in the first bundle of that course. I followed Bob's Udemy course, like for the slideshow, because I didn't want to do a boring bullet point presentation either. I wanted my course to be interesting, exciting, engaging, and so I followed Bob's process, and I'm really, really happy with the with the results. Since then, I've gone back and put one talking head in there just so that people can see my face. So don't let I think, as Bob says, like when you're very first starting out doing your course, don't get hung up about video. What about perfectionism? What do you think there? What about people saying, I'm not going to publish my course until it's perfect?
Yeah. There's a couple of catch sayings that are floating around, and I think most of us have heard them. It doesn't have to be perfect; just has to get done. I don't know. You throw in whatever cliches that you want. If we're talking about your course being perfect, understand that's never going to happen. But think of it this way: people are buying your course. And unless you're Seth Godin, right, in my space, in the business space, that guy's a monster. If I buy a Seth Godin course, I'm going to expect high production quality, okay? But I think in general, nobody's expecting that you're going to have the ability to come out with a Hollywood type level of production, right? What we're doing here is good enough. Talking over a PowerPoint slide is good enough. As long as you understand how to actually use PowerPoint, right? And if anybody's watching and in the event you don't know what I'm talking about, although I doubt that. PowerPoint is, if you're going to use that, bullet points, right? Bullet points, talking points. It's not a script on the screen that you go through. So no, your course doesn't have to be perfect, and people don't expect it to be perfect. As long as your audio is clean, as long as your information's good, people are going to forgive a lot of stuff.
Very true. And the point too is that once it's published, it isn't necessarily done and dusted. You can actually go on there and swap units out. Now, once again, I'd like to invite people, if somebody wants to jump into that seat, we're happy to do some one-on-one coaching or take some questions, because I said this is about your questions being answered about how to create a successful online course. So if we've got any questions or somebody wants to jump into the hot seat, what I will do, Bob, is I will see if I can find. I did make up a link for your course.
Oh, okay, great.
So we'll.
I apologize, but I'm actually going to have to run in about 3-4 minutes.
Yep, no, that's absolutely.
Okay.
As I said, I just wanted you to come on quickly and share, because, as I said, your course is really a standout when it comes to creating a successful and engaging course. I just wanted you to be able to share and put a face to my recommendation for your course.
Is it okay? Can I ask a quick question? Of I guess there's 6 people watching. If you've not produced a course, but you're thinking about it, can you just, where it says type something cool, can you put in, or have you not produced a course, but you're thinking about it, yes or no? And if you have produced a course, type the number of courses that you've done. That, they always say you should understand who it is that you're talking to.
Exactly.
It's and here's almost done with the first one. Great. Here's why I ask. And right now, I'm just going to talk about Udemy, if that's okay. We are on the cusp right now of a lot of really big things getting ready to happen. Okay. And I'm just talking about Udemy's platform, and I'm going to talk about online training. Okay. Last year, online training was, I don't know, something, I think I read a number, something like 14 billion. They're expecting it to be 37 billion by the end of 2015. And that number is going to go up, right? Udemy has a very unique foothold in this space right now. Are they going to have it forever? I don't know. I don't think they will. Hopefully they'll be able to be a market leader for a long time. But right now, they have a very unique foothold. And the opportunity for you to be able to share what it is that you know, what you're passionate about, with a global audience and make a lot of money in the next 12 to 18 months off of something that you did one time. This is a real opportunity, right? We all hear these internet riches and email marketing and all this stuff. This isn't that. This is, you recording a course, you talking about what you know, getting it done, getting it out there, getting it for sale. And, I'm taking a look right before we got on. Today is the 4th. And while I generally don't go into income, since I brought income up, I'm at a little over $1,800. And all of these courses I recorded months ago, right? I've been on this platform for maybe a little over a year. But someone just bought one of my courses that I recorded 10 months ago. That's a very real opportunity. So if you're thinking about it, just get a course done. Get it knocked out. So anyway,
very good. Yeah.
Tim, I got to run. Thanks for inviting me to blab with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, Bob. It was absolutely marvelous getting to talk to you finally. And I said I really love your courses. And I said there is another course that on top of that, which is the present, like how to make a promo video course, which I found absolutely $1 million as well.
That one's interesting, largely because I don't go through tech with with anybody, really. I mean, I'll show you. I have a screencast at the very end. It's not long. I'm a sales coach, right? So really what I do is in that how to make a promo video that sells your course is I'm literally walking you through 12 points that you can hit on inside of 2 minutes to get people to take action. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. It was good to meet you, man. This whole blab thing is really kind of personalizing the internet for me.
It is. It's making the world a lot smaller and saying a great collaboration tool for instructors to sort of come on and saying, like, if somebody does want to jump in and interact with us directly, that option's there, as well as answering questions in the sidebar. So it's an amazing technology.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too.
It is, and it's great. It's great meeting you. Thanks, you too, buddy. Okay, that was Bob. Sorry, I put my teeth back in. That was Bob Marx, and he's the author of many courses on Udemy. As I said, this is a session where it's your questions answered. So if somebody wants to jump in that seat, you're more than welcome to jump in. Or if you want me to talk about anything particular, because as I said, there's a number of areas where courses can fail, and there's a number of areas where courses can succeed. And it's a process, but it's a very, very simple process once it's understood. There is a bit of work involved, but at the end, the rewards are far more greater than what you have to put in initially. And as Bob said, people can come back and they can buy courses that you created 10 months ago and that you've done very little with since then. The other thing too is, if you like, I also share a lot of free information. I probably share more free information than my paid courses. You can visit my website at ECourseDomination.com, and from there, just following the navigation, you'll be able to look at my podcast, where I interview topic experts as well as do monologues on all aspects of online course creation and marketing. I think at the end of the day, there are a couple of areas that I want you to consider when you are looking at creating your online course. And it's what do you want to get out of it? If you want to create an online course that is going to sell and generate a large residual income, then you've got to hit a market that is looking. You've got to hit. And this other thing too, James and I are going to be on a blab. See if I can find that information. James and I are going to be on a blab later on this afternoon or this evening. So I'm just going to see if I can find that. I'll put that link in for you. Just bear with me. I'm very new at using Mac. So this is a blab that James and I will be on later on this afternoon, where we're talking about marketing and using Udemy as a marketing and lead generation tool. So you're more than welcome to come and join us there. The other thing that I've got is this is a little guide that I made up. It's a course creation guide. So it's just a list of resources that I use when I'm creating online courses, and that's at my website. Now, I do, to be totally transparent, some of these links in this guide are affiliate links, and that's not a bad thing. Like, nobody pays extra and you get some money, and this is the way to course creation resource, I think it is, CCR. We'll try that. This is a great way for you to monetize your course. So if you've got a course, and then you can find product that supports your course. Now, I'm not talking about just pulling any course willy-nilly and throwing it in. That's probably a little bit spammy. But if you can provide, so if you're going to be recommending a product, I recommend what I use. So I know where I get my graphics from, the equipment that I use, and I recommend it. Now, if there's an affiliate program associated with that, what's the harm in becoming an affiliate of that and getting a small commission for that recommendation? And that's just another way that you can monetize through your course, is through making relative recommendations. But just coming back to some points to consider, there are when it comes to internet marketing and everything else, there are topics or niches that are open that everybody's interested in. That's health, wealth, and relationships. So at any point in somebody's life, they're either looking for a better relationship, better health, or more money. And then you want to obviously niche down and dig down. Don't make your product, don't make your course too broad. Remember that the rule: one problem, one solution per problem per course, so that you're only going to be targeting a specific issue, a specific need. Answer one problem, solve one issue, and then you can create another course to solve another issue. But don't try to change the world in one course, because then you'll never. I said I've learned a lot from a gentleman called Alex Jeffries. You can Google him on the net. He's a very, very popular multi-million-dollar earner when it comes to internet marketing, and I spent thousands of dollars being trained by him. And he was one who gave me the golf analogy, saying that when if you're going to create a course about golf, don't create a course about the game of golf, because it's going to take you months. It's going to be hours. And it's, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it published. Like 10 unpublished or 10 courses in the works are going to be worth nothing to you. One published course is going to be worth something to you. So he said, break it down. Do a course on how to putt, how to chip, like all these separate courses, how to drive. He said also get into their mindset. Why do they want to know? Like, why does somebody want to know how to drive the ball further? Is it because they want to drive the ball further, or is it because they're sick and tired of their mate out driving them? Is there some pride there, or there's a bit of understand? You've got to get into the head of your consumer. Check out your competition, but don't let competition deter you. A lot of people, when they're looking at a course, they've got an idea for a course, so they go on Udemy. Udemy is a great place to do some market research about what courses to create and what courses are popular, because you can see what's already there. Amazon is another great place. You can also do some stuff around Google and everything else, but those two are great places to look at popularity of a subject. Don't let the fact that somebody else has done a similar course deter you from doing a course, okay? Because everybody has got their own skills, their own experience, their own angle to bring to the table. Just make sure that you make your target group very specific, okay? So say for my Periscope course, I made my Periscope course for instructors and coaches. I didn't do a course on Periscope. I didn't do a course on business. I did a course on how instructors and coaches can utilize that resource. So make sure that your target is well defined. Make sure that your course is of a good quality, but don't get hung up over the technical issues. You can get up and going with basically anything that any material that you have. Okay, so phones these days, as I said, I do my first course I actually shot off my phone, and I had a GoPro mounted to my head. I was demonstrating strapping. The second course I did was actually an interview course, so it was just audio with a bit of PowerPoint over the top of it. My third course was a PowerPoint presentation as well. You don't have to get on camera if you don't want to, but get good audio. Make sure your content is concise. Nobody likes to be sitting around for 2.5 hours to learn what they could in an hour. Okay, that's also going to set you aside from some of these other courses where people ramble a bit and add it full of fluff. Make sure that every sentence is constructed in a way that people are going to learn something. Name your channel after what? Absolutely, yeah, exactly. And this is coming down to your SEO ability. Now, I did a course in Udemy as a student. I didn't create this course. It's a course on SEO for Udemy. It's by a man called Scott Duffy. Once again, a very, very good course. And he talked about how Udemy's search engine was very, very different to Google's search engine, and you've got to sort of balance your SEO and your URL and domain naming between where you want your traffic to come. Now, for example, in my last course where I followed his advice, the actual URL for my Periscope course is periscope-twitter-periscope. So I've doubled up for the word Periscope, and then in my title I've used Periscope, and I think in my subtitle I've used Periscope, and that's ranking #1 in that area Udemy. So yes, be very, very be aware of keywords. I use a tool called FreshKey. It's for memory. It's $47 one off. And what I like about FreshKey, it's developed by Ryan Deese. Anyway, you can type in a keyword and then search. You can search Google, Bing, Amazon, Yahoo, like search all these different engines all in one time. But say if I searched for course creation or online courses, then it will come up with a whole list of long tail keywords like creating. So that's where I got the title for my second course, Creating Successful Online Courses, was a frequently searched trending. So I also checked Google Trends. So it was a frequently searched trending search phrase. So that's something. Yeah, exactly. So this is what, Gio, do you want to give us your name so I can probably address you a little bit more, Gio, personally? Exactly right. So when you're naming your channels, your URLs, everything else, make sure that you have got commonly searched search phrases in there. Okay. Is everybody? Does anybody have any questions before I call this to an end? I do appreciate you. You coming along to this blab. It's always fun. It's always great to have the interaction, and I love the props. Thanks, guys. Props are absolutely fantastic. As I said, this afternoon, in probably, I don't know, about 4.5 hours from now, I'll be talking with James Wu about Udemy and marketing and lead generation, which will be really, thanks, Gio, will be really, really interesting. Tomorrow morning, my time, which is, I think is 6 p.m. Saturday Pacific, I'm also talking to another course creator called Vicky Maris. She created a course about an aviator's wife's life during World War II, but she's a very, very she's a talented course creator, and we're going to talk about different ways to engage and interact with our students, because this is the big thing. Student interaction is very, very important. It's one thing to create your course and put it up there, but you'll see more and more instructors doing this sort of stuff, coming out and making themselves available to their students and to the audience, and doing a lot of free coaching just to give that value and to make sure that their students are reaching their learning objectives by making themselves available and clarifying things. Thank you very, very much for your time. I do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you on more of my blab. So if you go to my profile at blab.im/Tim Cooper EDU, you can follow me and get notifications whenever I do blabs in the future. And once again, thank you for your time.